Hey Guru Nation, welcome. Thank you for watching. Quick video, got a question, inpatient versus outpatient studies, how to go about, what do you need, what kind of equipment do you need if you're running an inpatient study? So first of all, it depends, okay, what kind of inpatient study. Healthy volunteer inpatient studies, there's a lot more equipment that you're going to need to get. There's a lot of setup you're going to need to think of. There's going to be dietary issues that you're going to need to consider. I'm not that familiar with phase 1 studies outside of schizophrenia studies, so I'm not going to get into that, but just know that phase 1, healthy volunteers, is a separate animal. Now, other kinds of inpatient studies are studies that require overnight stay of some sort. So sleep studies are a good example of this. They stay overnight. Psychiatric trials, they can stay at either an inpatient unit like a hospital, or they can stay in a nursing home, or just a standalone building that's the dedicated inpatient facility for that study. It's really up to the discretion of the investigator, and there's other indications where there are inpatient studies as well. If you're curious, just go to clinicaltrials.gov and type in inpatient, and you can see the different kinds of inpatient studies. What do you need? So here's the issues. There's several issues that occur for inpatient studies. Number one is the investigational product, the IP. Where is it going to be stored? Because you have an outpatient clinic, you also have an inpatient unit. So where is the sponsor going to ship the IP? Where is it going to be stored? How is it going to get to the inpatient unit? Typically this requires a temperature log and a transportation log and a separate SOP to incorporate into your existing SOP for IP transportation and temperature control during transportation of IP. Another thing that comes into consideration is the pharmacy at the inpatient unit. Okay, so once it gets to the inpatient unit, who takes care of it? Who maintains the logs? Who looks out for the temperature excursions? That's another thing to consider. And remember, when you're doing outpatient studies, everything's sort of under your control. For inpatient studies, and this is certainly the case when you're using a hospital for an inpatient study, you're relying on other people, so training becomes an issue. Another thing is equipment, calibration. So in your clinic, in your outpatient clinic, again, you're controlling that. You have a SOP for equipment calibration, who comes in, when do they need to get calibrated. Well, when you're at a inpatient facility, you have less control, and then you potentially have issues that you need to resolve, like how does the equipment get calibrated, or even personnel issue. Who's doing what at the inpatient unit? Because these people, especially when you're using a hospital or a nursing home, these people are not accustomed to doing clinical trials. And so you're having them now do clinical trial assessments or procedures or whatever the case may be. So again, training becomes important. So it's less of the technical, what you need. Of course, every protocol is different, so you got to consider what the sponsor wants when it comes to the considerations that your site's going to need to have for the inpatient unit. Like, does it have to be locked? Do they allow field trips? Do they allow activities that can enhance retention, like outings, scheduled outings, meal plans, dietary restrictions? Will they allow smoking? How do you separate the males and the females? Do you have to? How do you accommodate the shower? So there's a lot of those kind of issues which you got to look at from the perspective of the sponsor and the protocol. But a lot of it is left up to the PI and the investigator to sort of come to a agreement with the sponsor on what the plan will be for the inpatient facility. But from a training standpoint and from an investigational product standpoint and from an equipment calibration standpoint, these are things that you're going to have to revise in your SOPs prior to getting selected for the inpatient study. So just more training and additional SOP, I guess, subsections to your ongoing or your existing SOP. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you have questions, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.